Like I said, it's been a while, so happy to be here. Happy to be talking to all of you. I see a lot of friends. I see a lot of people that I know. Janta, Anu. I'm sure Anu, there's going to be a book coming out soon next, making sure all women entrepreneurs are also covered. So that is happening soon. Because I heard a lot of noise online that, this was all boys club, this book. So I'm glad that there is going to be a sequel with all women entrepreneurs. Look forward to that as well, and I'm sure I'll be invited back, hopefully. Happy that Hyderabad is shaping up into a very vibrant startup ecosystem. But speaking to a lot of people of late, the last few months, I've realized a couple of things. There are lots of youngsters, lots of people, lots of not so youngsters also have a lot of ideas. Like they say, ideas are a dime a dozen. But how many of them actually are able to translate from an idea to a drawing board is the big question that governments and also a lot of us need to be asking ourselves. And as we all know in India, being an entrepreneur is a tough task. Being an entrepreneur, in fact, is a huge challenge in India. A lot of successful entrepreneurs I've met in the last several years have had some very common and a running theme across all their successful stories. They all tell me it's an uphill task. They all tell me it's a challenge to work with the government. They all tell me that it's best that the government actually stays away as much as it can to make sure that entrepreneurs actually succeed. But when we started our journey about 5 years ago as a new state of Telangana, we actually started asking ourselves a lot of questions as well. We said, how can we as a new state do something different? Because when you start thinking like a startup, when you start thinking like a newbie, a rookie, when you come into being for the first time, I think you'll be able to help others also who are pretty much in the same boat. So when we asked ourselves, what does it take to build a successful, a scalable, revenue positive business? We agreed on some common themes. Grit, determination, most importantly patience, perseverance are the keys to making an enterprise successful. Of course, just being scalable and sustainable doesn't alone make any enterprise successful. You also need a lot of other things going for yourself. Let me also remind you, a lot of homegrown entrepreneurs have done it in spite of governments, in spite of insurmountable odds stacked up against them when they've set off. In fact, when Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji called for a meeting recently, I was fortunate enough to represent my political party, the Telangana Rashtra Samiti, in the capacity of the working president of the party. He's asked all the political parties a pointed question. He said, what can we do? Because India is now almost 75, independent India is almost 75 years old. He said, how do we build a new India in the 75th year of India's independence? So my answer was straightforward. So I told the Honorable Prime Minister that he has to follow the 3I mantra. I said, sir, you have to think of 3 things if you really want to build India into a formidable force that the world is going to respect. I also told him I had the opportunity and the luxury to tell him, and he was a very patient listener, I must tell you. I said, sir, I'm 43. Like me, many of those who've been born much after India got its independence have got an opportunity to travel the world. When we travel the world, when we see countries which are much smaller in size, which are much smaller in terms of their economy, which are much younger in terms of when they got their independence or when they became a separate country, we feel really terrible because when you travel to a Malaysia, or when you travel to Sri Lanka for that matter, or when you travel to any other part of the world, and when you come back to India, you lament about a lot of things. We lament about how we are left out. Where did we miss the boat? How come we can't get the basics right, etc., etc. I also told him that he has to, because in 75th year of independence, India as a country does not have the luxury to just think of leapfrogging. If we really have to make our presence felt, if we really have to knock on the doors of the developed countries or the first world countries club, we really have to rock it with a huge bang. So therefore I said the 3 I's: innovation, inclusive growth, and infrastructure. Infrastructure, when I say infrastructure, infrastructure of all kinds. Roads, ports, health infrastructure, education infrastructure, etc., etc. But obviously, these 3 I's also need to be complemented by a 4th I, which is indigenization and Indianization. Because a lot of times, in my previous life, I was a Minister for Information Technology, worked very closely with Jayesh and a bunch of others, who are good friends now. A lot of times, young guys who come all the way from California, Silicon Valley and other places, other beautiful places across the world, they come with, some rose-tinted glasses on. When they walk into your office, especially, I had one experience which I can't forget. So there was this young gentleman who came all the way from California. He said, "Sir, I have a brilliant solution for your traffic problems." Obviously, I was very upbeat. I said, "Welcome. Why don't you tell me what it is?" He said, "I want to inculcate a sense of lane discipline among Hyderabadis." I said, "Great. That's what we need." He told me that he has a certain app which can trigger a message to the traffic command and control center if somebody abruptly cuts into your lane. I looked at him square in the eye and I told him, "Why don't you give me a service which sends me an alert when somebody is actually headed at me in a one-way street?" He looked at me and all intrigued and perplexed. He said, "Why do you need that?" I said, "Welcome to India, welcome to Hyderabad. That's the world we live in." Unfortunately or fortunately, that's the world we live in. The point I'm trying to make is solutions, formulas, successful models that have been identified, that have been cherished, that have been appreciated elsewhere in the world will not and may not work in India. We need our own indigenization, our own Indianized formula, our own local recipes for our own set of problems. I'm thrilled and excited that today Hyderabad's ecosystem, in fact, has inspired Raj to come out with a book, and there are already 25 youngsters who have made their presence felt in our own city of Hyderabad. 3 cheers to all of them and a big round of applause to all of them. Also wanted to point out, there are many more wonderful stories that need to be showcased. Now there is a guy that I know who comes from very, very humble background. His father was head constable in the local police force in Telangana. Now this gentleman, he has floated a company, created a company called Marut Drones, promoted by our own EHA product, Prem of Rasta Studios. I know some of you may actually be knowing him. Trust me, that was not a plug-in for Prem. This gentleman actually has come out. He was, like I said, started from humble beginnings, but he went to IIT and then eventually one thing led to another. He created this company called Marut Drones, which today is India's first drone company to eradicate or to have found a formula to eradicate mosquitoes and water hyacinths on lakes. And it's a drone that works on AI. So these are the sort of new age companies. In fact, our city has seen in the last few years sprouting up. I'm delighted that we also have Shraddha Sharma here. Your story, I keep telling her, there are a lot many stories to be told in Hyderabad, Shraddha. I think we're going to have a chat quickly, so I think I'll leave more for that later. But I think there are many, many successful stories that have come out of Hyderabad in the recent past. And I'm thrilled also to share with you that government initiatives like T-Hub for all budding entrepreneurs, the tech space, B-Hub for women entrepreneurs has also shaped up very well. T-Works, which is a prototyping facility that's also coming up soon, is shaping up really well, I must add. And then we also have Rich. Ajit Rangnekar is the Director General of Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad. which aims to foster a collaboration between the research institutions, the academia, and also the industry of Hyderabad. Hyderabad, I'm delighted, is shaping up into a fantastic innovation ecosystem, and with T-Hub 2 and a bunch of other very exciting things happening, I would only hope that we go from strength to strength. And like I said, once again, this book obviously showcased some of the successful entrepreneurs from Hyderabad. I do believe and I do hope that many, many more successful stories will also come up, and today I hope is also not far when we will actually see a unicorn, homegrown unicorn, coming out of our own city of Hyderabad. So good luck to you all, God bless, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
హలో, మిమ్మల్నే ఫిలిం సెలబ్రిటీస్ రియల్ స్టోరీస్ ఏంటో తెలుసుకోవాలనుందా? లేటెస్ట్ గా రిలీజ్ అయ్యే మూవీ రివ్యూస్ నేను చెప్తే వినాలనుందా? ఇంకెందుకు ఆలస్యం, యోయో టీవీని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోండి. అలాగే మర్చిపోకుండా యోయో టీవీ యాప్ ని కూడా డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి.